Hello peeps, this is Tango and welcome back to Tango's World of X. Today I will be reading Accidentally in Love, Chapter 10, The Jet Black Wings. By the way, I'm recording in my recording studio right now. Let me know how the sound quality is. I'm also on the floor of the studio because I don't have a chair in here currently. Which is great. So, hopefully it sounds okay. It's a little bit weird, the sound through the phone. Just letting you know. Anyways, let's get to the summary. Kusuo checks his phone. Kaido plays pretend. Also, I'm a little bit sick right now, so it might sound like I'm a little bit congested, because I am. Anyways, notes. I feel the need to remind you all of how amazing you are. Like, seriously. I'm having a bit of a rough patch right now, and you all never fail to make me smile with your support for this fic. When I'm having a bad day, I reread some of your comments and remember that the world isn't so terrible all the time. Sometimes it's filled with kindness, the kind that knocks your breath away and makes your heart swell, and that can make such a difference in someone's life. Thank you all so much for being my little virtual family. Even when I torment you with cliffhangers and angst, you're still along for the ride with me. Here's to 10,000 hits for 10 chapters. Okay, let's get into the chapter. Once Hiroshi calms down, he asks Kusuo, exhaustedly, if they can hang out another day. The walk back to the Satou residence is similar to that of a funeral march. Their steps are slow, simple, duple, in time to the rain dripping soberly from the clouds. I'm so sorry, I don't know what these words are. It becomes a full downpour once they make it to the front steps. There is no embrace like there was last night. Neither can find it in them to initiate one. I'm sorry. Kusuo hadn't meant to say that. Hiroshi pays him no mind. It's okay. I'll text you soon, I promise. Take your time. He goes inside, the lights inside striking Kusuo's shadow and darkening it, illuminating the contrast between their very existences. Just past the doorframe is a life that Kusuo will always be denied, and outside is a world that will never accept him, no matter how many times he shapes it. The rain pelts Kusuo relentlessly, and he teleports himself home. At some point, after the sun goes down, Kusuo's father knocks on his door. Kusuo doesn't answer him, even when he pleads to be let in, or when he threatens to get Kusuo's mother. Even when he apologizes for any hurt or feelings he may have caused the night prior, the apology is not accepted, and his family eventually retreats. Kusuke fails to make an appearance, which is the only relatively good thing to happen to Kusuo all day, along with his mother leaving a plate of food outside his door with a sweet note written onto a napkin. The message has bled too much through the napkin to be legible, but the sentiment is appreciated. Seems like the Saiki family, for the most part, knows better than to bother him when he needs his space. The remainder of his night is spent lying on his bed, staring at his ceiling. In his mind, he replays the conversation with Hiroshi over and over again. Mind control has its side effects, but how could he be so stupid to overlook such a huge issue? How could he not realize preventing further hurt does not eliminate the hurt that came before? Was there any way to fix what he's done, or are the effects too irreversible? He considers time travel, really considers it, but ultimately decides against undoing what's been done. What good would be going back in time to stop himself if Hiroshi would still be miserable? If Kaido and Eren would still be dancing around one another? If Terahashi would keep throwing herself at boys she has no interest in? No, what he did was merciful, but only partially so. It was a huge oversight on his part, and now he has to take responsibility. How and why? No one knows what he did. And only certain people seem to remember the world before he changed it. Kusuo doesn't have to do anything about this. Except, he kind of does. Maybe? Because he dragged Hiroshi into this, by prolonging his trauma and making him fall in love with him. Well, Kusuo didn't make Hiroshi feel anything, but it was another oversight. And Kusuo really likes Hiroshi and wants Hiroshi to heal. And so that must mean there's something he can do. But what? He can't take back what Hiroshi's father said to him, not without time traveling and risking a ripple effect into the future. Hiroshi may turn into a different person, or fall out of love with Kusuo, which may not be so bad of an idea for his sake. No time travel. No more mind control. Kusuo has to fix this the way that anyone else would. He's not sure how, but he'll think of something. He just has to wait for the right solution to come to him. The wait will be painful, but he's learned to be patient. He's learned when to take things slow. And as the night drags on, he wears himself slowly down to sleep. Hiroshi texts him the following morning. Kusuo isn't used to the tradition of holding his breath and waiting a few minutes to respond. Texting is a drag compared to mind reading, and there are a ridiculous amount of unspoken rules that he has to abide by. It would have to be so much simpler just to take his ring off and wait for Hiroshi's voice to float into his head. Still, he keeps the ring on, feeling it a betrayal to take it off now. A betrayal to someone. Hiroshi, maybe. He waits 5 agonizing minutes before replying to the worst possible text he could have ever received in his life. Hiro. Hey, it's nothing that you did, I promise. I just need some space today. I'll text you again sometime after school. Sorry. Okay. It may not be the worst text he could have ever received, but still, something about the word choice and the tone and lack of capitalization hurts. Hurts in a way that it seems so silly to say out loud, but pains him so much to read. It's missing Hiroshi's pleasant cheeriness, and for the weight of all his words, everything just comes off so incredibly dull. Kusuo can't just leave him on read, but what does he say? Texting etiquette is such a pain, especially when dealing with something so important. He could just mess up their entire relationship so easily with a wrong choice of words, and he's still expected to reply with haste. What kind of sense is there in that? He has to remember that this is how normal people converse when apart from each other. Text messaging is supposed to be similar to real conversation as it can be, and when speaking aloud to someone, you're supposed to come up with responses on the fly, no matter what the topic may be. So, Kusuo gets typing. You don't have to apologize. I understand. Take all the time you need. Was that too harsh? Opening with a you don't have to? Maybe he should have added the he will be there for Hiroshi if he needs him. Is it too late to add it now? Sure, he'd be double texting, but does Hiroshi want to know that he's not alone in this? God, his texting is the worst. I'm here for you. There. Shit. He actually sent it. Should he have added, if you need me? Does sending another text make it sound like he's anxious for Hiroshi to get back to him as soon as possible? Enough! This morning is off to a bad start. Agonizing over text won't make it better. He shifts into school mode, slipping on his uniform and heading on his way. It's the first time he's walked to class without Hiroshi in almost 2 months. A terrible pang in Kusuo's chest tortures him the whole way. It's only when he makes it to his classroom and takes a seat, surrounded by so many lively people, all taking animatedly to one another, that he realized that what he felt was loneliness. 2 bandaged hands slap themselves on Kusuo's desks. Saiki! Want to grab some ramen on the way home? Kusuo looks up from his phone. The final bell rang 5 minutes ago. No new messages. It was expected, but still. Never mind that. Kaido is changing the script on him. It's always been Nendo's thing to immediately ask for ramen after school. What's more curious is that Kaido hasn't gone out for ramen with either of them in a while. It's always hip to hip with Eren at every given opportunity. Then again, Kusuo has been absent for those trips too. Always hip to hip with Hiroshi until now. Is Eren coming? He asks. The childlike grin on Kaido's face does not disappear, but it does fall slightly. Nah, he can't. His family is taking a long weekend visit to go visit his grandparents. He had to go home and pack. A weekend without Eren. Will Kaido survive? Time will tell. Nendo coming then? Nah. He's still helping Hiro with basketball tryouts for the underclassmen, though I thought those were supposed to end last week. And he still ran off with the guy today. Guess I was wrong. Or maybe the rest of them just have been too oblivious to something developing between the two knuckleheads. Kusuo suddenly realizes that he has experienced less Nendo interruptions than usual in his life. To run down to the gym and investigate sounds rather tempting. No. It's none of his business. He has to stop butting into other people's lives, after all. This will be good practice for him, even though this is Nendo and Hiro that they're talking about here. And they really do seem to have some strange tensions running between the two of them. And Kusuo has always wondered which way Hiro swings, and he would have killed to know how Nendo would function in a romantic relationship, because who wouldn't? No! Stop it! This is none of his business. If anything happens, they'll find out eventually. For now, Kaido is looking at him pleadingly. Seems Kusuo isn't the only one who's lonely today. It has been a while since he's gone out for ramen, and longer since he's had the chance to talk to Kaido alone. A lot has happened in both of their lives, and it would be nice to catch up. Wait, this is it. What he's been waiting for, the chance to find a solution to his problem. If Kaido has been affected in any way beyond his relationship with Eren, that's because of Kusuo's mind control. Now is the perfect time to find out. Kusuo has to sigh, though, because his reputation is at stake here, and he has to uphold it. Well, if you want to, the two of us can go, I guess. Kaido pumps a fist into the air. Yes! I'll grab my stuff! The jet black wings and Saiki. Back to patrol on the streets! What a way to make getting a meal together sound so embarrassing. Still, Kusuo can't help but smile. He's missed this idiot. The ramen is good. Like, really good. It always tastes decent, but all food tastes better when you haven't had it in a while. Kusuo leaves the talking to Kaido while they eat. Sure, they are catching up, but he is also doing research. For now, if he remains focused on how Kaido acts, rather than distract him with his own anecdotes. Also, he would rather just keep eating. And then, Eren was like, "We should add a slide to our fort." And I was like, yeah, but where are we gonna get one? And so Kaido takes a break, but to eat instead of breathe. Forget whatever the guy's words were per minute. Forget whatever the guy's words per minute are when typing. How fast is he speaking? It gives Kusuo another moment to check his phone. No new messages. So we went to the store to see how expensive they were, and nope, that wasn't gonna work. But then Eren was like, "Don't worry, babe, I know a guy." And I've just kind of learned to roll with it whenever he says that, so now our fort has a slide. And, we didn't screw it on that tight to a tree, though. So next time you come over, one of us has to hold it down when you go down. A riveting story, and of course, Kusuo has to ask, "Did you two make that rule after testing it out first?" Kaido's face flushes. Definitely not. We know a safety hazard when we see one. Tell you what, next time I come over, I'll fix it for you. You know how to do that? Kaido gasps incredulously. Saiki, you're so cool. Beside his psychic powers, it literally just takes knowing how to use a toolkit properly, and maybe how to use a level. Okay, maybe it was too hard of a task for two lovey-dovey dimwits to figure out on their own. So, wait, that means you actually want to hang out at the fort sometime? Kaido follows up. I thought you hated it. Oh, Kusuo does. He just misspoke. Kaido is so lucky that he's catching him on an off day. I don't hate it. It's cool, man. The outdoors aren't for everyone. You don't have to lie to me. I mean, you're not really that good at it anyways. Oh, really? Kaido throws his head back, gulping down the rest of his broth instead of using a spoon. He's a complete and utter child, but Kusuo has to admit the act has kind of grown on him a bit. The Dark Reunion certainly isn't hurting anyone, and as weak as the Jet Black Wings actually is, Earth could always use another defender, even if he is defending his own fragile ego. He checked his phone not a minute ago, but Kusuo finds himself looking at his messages again. Nothing. Not even anything from his mom. Ever since he started to actually use his phone, she has made sure to she has made sure to stuff his inbox with daily pictures of cute cats. Everything okay? Kusuo sets his phone face up on the table. Quick glances will be more bearable than going through the whole charade of pulling it out of his pocket. Perfectly. A dangerous smirk stretches across Kaido's face. His jet black wings smirk. Sorry, Saiki, but the jet black wings knows a crisis when he sees one. How can I be of assistance? Kusuo knows it's just Kaido's way of saying, I'm your friend and I want to help you out, but it's nothing you can help with. Kaido deflates, his persona lifting. Oh. No, not like... Right, he's speaking to a child, and children can be sensitive just as they are endearing. Kusuo takes a deep breath and strikes a better tone. I appreciate it, though, Kaido. There's just nothing you can actually do. It's... Something Kaido can actually help with is... Wait! Can I ask you something? The jet black wings returned. I'll do my best to answer, but know that the jet black wings must maintain some sort of secrecy for protect... Have you and Aaron ever had any rough patches? It may have been too personal of a question to ask, but Kaido slouches in his seat, stretching the back of his neck nervously. I mean, we've had our differences, but not really. But, can I be honest? Kusuo nods. That kind of scares me. I feel like, because we never fight, the first one will be really big and it'll tear us apart. How very Kaido of a concern. Kusuo shakes his head impatiently. I almost said impatiently. Aaron cares about you too much to let that happen. Trust me. Just work on your communication. Yeah, you're right. I just worry. Kaido frowns. Why do you ask, though? Are you fighting with someone? Kusuo doesn't answer that one right away. He's too busy glancing at his phone. You are? Who is it? I can't think of who because everyone likes you. Unfortunately, it's not a fight. But someone's feelings got hurt, right? It might be a silent fight. Kusuo gives Kaido his best, face. You know, like, Kaido glances at the table sheepishly. Sheepishly! Well, when someone says something mean without meaning to, and the other person just ignores you for a bit, well, my sister does that to me all the time. Another glance. No messages. We didn't hurt each other's feelings. How do you know that? That's the whole point of a silent fight. Kusuo fists his leg under the table. I did not hurt his feelings, and he didn't hurt mine. You seem upset, though. Kusuo is upset. But not at Hiroshi. Never at Hiroshi. This whole mess is his fault. But unlucky for him, this is a silent fight where he can't ignore what he did. I'm not upset. Kaido grimaces. Still a bad liar, man. For the love of God, this is why Kusuo never hangs out with Kaido alone. I am not upset. Kaido doesn't need to say anything after that. Kusuo just proved his point. Now who's acting like a child? Frustrated and angsty and sad, Kusuo grabs his phone and opens it for no reason. Why won't Hiroshi text him back? Please, just one text so he can stop fixating on it so much. So he won't stop worrying over what they said this morning, or the day before that, or the day before that, so that they can just go back to how things were when Kusuo finally got his shit together and was happy for once. A handful of change is laid atop a crumpled leaf of bills on the table. Come on, Saiki. We can talk about it outside. Kusuo isn't really sure if Kaido's allowance was enough to cover both of their meals, but they leave all the same. They wander aimlessly through town for a bit, and Kaido is unsure how to start a conversation again, and Kusuo is unwilling to. It's not an issue of Kusuo not wanting to tell Kaido what's wrong. It's a matter of Kusuo wanting to and not knowing how. The only person he feels confident telling anything to anymore is Hiroshi, and well, he can't exactly do that right now. But Kaido is, surprisingly, one of Kusuo's closest friends, and he deserves to know what's going on in Kusuo's life, if only so he can be reminded that he has a place in it. This is what friends do. And Kusuo could stand to be a better one. They end up in the heart of their town's shopping area, just between the mall and the movie theater, when Kusuo finally steals himself. I'm waiting for my boyfriend to text me. Kaido stops dead in his tracks. You have a boyfriend? Why is that such a big deal? You have one too. Yeah, but for you, it is a big deal. Kusuo sighs. You're right. He starts walking again, if only to get Kaido to stop staring at him. For how long? Almost 2 months now. 2 months? When didn't you tell us? It's still new, and we're taking it slow. No. Me and Aaron are new, and you know all about us. Kusuo turns them down an empty street, one that will lead them out of the crowds and eventually back towards home. No, you and Aaron knew about each other's for over a year by the time you got together, and you were best friends. It's not the same. Kaido scoffs. Well, were you going to tell us? Why are they still arguing this? It's hardly the issue here. Yes, now can we please move on? I think I did do something to hurt that hurt his feelings. Only he doesn't know I did it. Kaido purses his lips, trying to decipher Kusuo's meaning. So you think you did something and... So do you think that's why he's not texting you? But he didn't know you did it. He can't ignore you for that. God, there really is no way for Kusuo to explain this without revealing his entire hand. Well, even if he does text me, it won't change what I did. What did he do? Should he reset the day? The conversation is approaching some very dangerous territories. I brought up some bad memories. Not on purpose, though, right? No, well, yes, but no. Kaido whines. Saiki, you're confusing me. Just apologize to him. It'll probably make him feel better. It can't be that simple. It's never that simple. It won't ever be. Kusuo should have realized that any issue in his relationship would be made more complicated just with his involvement. This was a waste of time. Kaido and Aaron are obviously fine. If they have had any issues post-homophobia erasure, then they've either dealt with them or have yet to. But they'll find a way, because the two of them have never run into any obstacle that they couldn't tackle together. They're always on the same page. Meanwhile, Kusuo and Hiroshi are on opposite ends of a thesaurus. I can never say that word. Sorry. The city gives way to the suburbs, and Kusuo notices how quiet it's become. Kaido is staring at him again, brow furrowed with worry, and Kusuo must have been in his head for too long. Oops. He attempts to break the ice. What did he say? Kaido draws his lip tight. Man, I've never seen you like this. I mean, is there... are you okay? Is there something else going on, maybe? Something you're afraid to tell? Nothing's going on, I'm fine. Kaido, I'm fine. You can forget I ever asked anything. It's a stupid thing to worry over. Anyway, stop staring at me. Jeez. His words are biting, even to his own ears. He'll drive Kaido to tears at this rate. Kusuo knows that this is the part where he apologizes, then offers to buy the guy an ice cream or something, but he just doesn't. When you feel like shit, it's easier to act like shit too. A group of trees flanks both sides of the path home, blocking out most of the sky, and under the cover of the shadows and leaves, Kaido takes a deep breath. Dark reunion isn't real. Now it's Kusuo's turn to stop. His train of thought crashes and burns on the tracks. He can't even think of a proper response. His jaw just sort of drops, and his throat makes a sound. Kaido laughs shortly. Yeah, I made it up. I'm not the jet black wings. I'm just a loser who wanted to feel special. But you're pretty shocked, huh? Kusuo is, but not for the reasons that Kaido thinks. Why would you tell me this? Kaido shrugs, kicking at the dirt. Sometimes when a friend tells you something big, it can make it easier to talk about your own thing. Aaron was having a bad day once, and he didn't know how to deal with it, so I told him that I made up Dark Reunion to make myself feel special, like I had a purpose or something. I don't know. Then he found some way to work his stuff out. Now, maybe you can too. Or maybe you're just mad at me for lying. I know I've probably been pretty annoying. It's kind of a strange thing, because Kusuo isn't one to show affection, and he certainly doesn't hug anyone beside Hiroshi. But he drops his school bag and drags Kaido into an awkward embrace. Kaido freezes, arms flailing helplessly in the air, because he has no idea what to do with his hands, and neither does Kusuo. They have a sort of hovering... They kind of sort of hover around Kaido's back before finally resting above his ribcage. It's the worst hug to all end hugs. Wait, to end all hugs! It's a worse hug to end all hugs. And it ends not long after it started. I'm so sorry. I've been reading horribly today. Kaido gaps. He gaps like a fish! He gapes like a fish. Guess you're not mad, but, why? Because Kusuo is the real idiot between all of them. And this time he's been apologizing over who he is, acting normal, because he wants to get close to the person that he wants to become. The person he can never be. And then he has the audacity to believe he was the only one out there playing pretend, when he literally is friends with the jet black wings. There's a stray bench along their path. It's wood and worn by the weather and use, and Kusuo points a finger at it. And then in a moment of clarity and reckless euphoria, he lifts it into the air. I'm a psychic. Kaido takes the news well. And if by well you mean fainting on the ground and waking up on the bench that your friend lifted into the air and screaming, then yes, he takes it well. He also has a lot of questions. When? Since birth. How? Just born that way. What else can you do? Almost anything. Telekinesis, pyrokinesis. That's the one with fire. I know that. Just, why didn't you ever tell me? Or any of us. We've known you for like years now, man. This isn't the first time that they've had this conversation, but it's the first time that Kusuo knows that what he wants to say. He leans back onto the bench, hands folded in his lap. The same reason that you didn't want to admit that you made everything up. I just wanted to feel normal, because I hate who I am. I hate my powers, and I thought pretending that they weren't there would make me hate myself less, and it never did. Kaido doesn't respond right away. He glances at his own hands, his wrapping coming undone around his wrists. It was never because I didn't trust you guys, Kusuo adds quickly. A real life instance of double texting, the damage has already been done. But he keeps going. My powers are as natural to me as a birthmark or an extra toe. All I'd wanted was to be treated like everyone else. I was worried about the attention, but I know I should have told you all a long time ago. I'm sorry. Kaido gives him a strange look. It makes Kusuo wince. What else can you do? Might as well rip off the bandage. I could read minds and control them and teleport. You can read minds? Kaido turns as red as his wrappings. So, did you already know about Aaron and... Dude, that's not cool, I know. Kusuo sulks. I can't control it, but when I'm wearing this ring, he points out the ring. I can more or less, but without it, I hear things even if I don't want to. It's a huge invasion of your privacy, and I wish I hadn't known all of that before you got the chance to tell me, but now he's putting the bandage back on and ripping it off again. The thing is, I was trying to tell you about hurting my boyfriend's feelings. It may have something to do with how you and Aaron got together. Now Kaido is flushed with anger. What? Crap, it's not what you think. Phrasing, Kusuo. Phrasing. You two were both thinking about each other constantly, and it was driving me nuts. So I used mind control to convince everyone homosexuality was normal. And that way you two could stop worrying about what the other would think if you confessed. And what others would think if you guys were together. But it didn't fix anything. It did for you two. But for Hiroshi... Suddenly, all of Kaido's anger washes away. You did that for us? Kusuo grimaces, but nods. Huh. Kaido thinks for a second. Thank you. That was a good use of your powers. Really good. You didn't have to do that, but you did. He completely missed that point, but Kusuo buries his face in his hands. I messed with something I shouldn't have. Yes, it was a good thing, but there were consequences. Like how anyone affected by severe prejudice can't explain where their hurt feelings came from. Kaido gasps with an, "Oh, that's what happened with your boyfriend, Hiroshi." Wait, Satou Hiroshi? You're dating the baseball guy? Kusuo nods into his palms. Saiki, that's not your fault. You can't go back in time and stop every homophobe from being a jerk. Wait, can you? Technically, yes, but it would be tricky and time-consuming. It might mess with our reality. Okay, so you could time travel to fix this anyways. You gotta stop beating yourself up about it. If you want to help Satou feel better, you gotta be there for him. Maybe try telling him something with what you did with the world. Maybe that would help. Kusuo groans. It might, you don't know. Sorry. I don't have any real superhero advice I can give you. Kusuo lifts his head. Well, what would the jet black wings tell me? Come on, man. Kaido chuckles to himself consciously. He's not real. He can be as real as you need him to be, Kaido. I'm no expert on self-confidence, but what you're doing doesn't hurt anyone, and if it helps get you to where you need to be, then who is calling you annoying? Who is anyone to call you annoying? Now he's made Kaido cry. The tears are quickly wiped away, though, and replaced with an infamous squirk. Well, the jet black wings that says that you should be kinder to yourself. There's nothing wrong with having powers. Powers can make you cool, but they don't make you a hero. Anyone can be that. And it sounds like Satou needs someone who will be honest with him. So you've got to both start feeling better. So you can both start feeling better. Kaido clears his throat, and his persona slips away. Besides, weren't you the one telling me that I need to work on my communication? Don't be a hypocrite, Saiki. Not cool. They both laugh at that equally and at themselves. They've been pretty ridiculous, haven't they? In retrospect, it's not all that surprising that they would end up being such good friends. Kaido. Thanks again for trusting me about your powers, dude. Your secret is safe with me, or until you're ready to tell. Good luck with Satou. Kusuo hasn't checked his phone since leaving the restaurant earlier. The text is very pleasant to return to after forcing himself to focus on other things. Now, with his homework finished and chores done, it's time to fret over his messages yet again. Except it isn't. Kusuo takes his time, stringing together 2 texts before he sends before heading downstairs for dinner. To Kaido. You. Thumbs up. And to Hiroshi. You. Don't reply to this until you're ready, but I hope you're feeling better. I know it's hard, and I wish I could make everything better. You deserve to feel as loved and supported as you make me feel. When you're ready to talk again, I have something I want to tell you. Good night, hero. Right before going to bed, he finally gets a response. Hero. Thank you, Kusuo. I really needed that. Kusuo sleeps soundly that night. Notes. This chapter goes out to anyone waiting on that one person to text you back. It sucks. I've been there. I'm there right now. Sometimes you just gotta wait. And no matter what response it is, it'll be okay. Just take care of yourselves out there. I love that chapter. That was my favorite chapter. Okay. Sorry. My favorite chapters are always the ones where, like, people find out stuff. I'm gonna make this quick because I have some, like, bloopers at the end. I don't really feel like moving them around, and they're, like, in the perfect spot right now. Anyways, so that was, there's, like, not that many bloopers. I really don't know how I want to do bloopers, like, how I do but they're just gonna, like, be at the end. I made so many mistakes. I didn't put them all in the bloopers, but some of them are still in there. I'm so sorry. I don't feel the best. Like, I have a very runny nose, a very stuffy nose. But yeah, because I'm sick. Sorry. Such a great chapter. Love this fic. Can't wait to read the next one. Sorry, I'm so busy. I had orientation today. I'm going into high school today. Was orientation. I can't believe I'm going to high school. Oh, that's crazy. So yeah, I might be busy because I'm going to high school. So I'm probably going to be doing stuff, because it's high school. That makes sense, right? Anyways, I hope you all love this chapter, and please tell me what you thought about it, and, yeah, I hope it wasn't too annoying with, the amount of mistakes I made. Yeah, thank you so much for listening, and this is Tango signing off. Listen to the bloopers. Bye! The reminder of his night spent... The reminder? Nah, he's helping out Hiro with basketball tryouts for the underclassmen. Thought I would... Though I thought those words... I'm so bad at this! And I was like, yeah, but where are we gonna get... Are we... What the fuck?